In this video, we're going to be talking about the rugby union game that happened between the New Zealand All Blacks and the Welsh national team at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff in Wales. Hello and welcome to my channel. For those that have been here before, welcome back. It's great to have you here. If you're a first time viewer, don't forget to take the opportunity to hit the subscribe button. And we love you leaving your comments on our video, so please share your views and opinions as we go. Okay, so much was to be discussed about this particular match, and before the match we had the All Blacks coming off another unconvincing game, and this time against the Japanese in Tokyo. The Brave Blossoms put on a fantastic performance to give it to the All Blacks right up until the last 20 minutes of that game, and it's been a theme of All Black rugby over the last season that we don't know what team is going to turn up, whether it's going to be a team that's on song or whether it's going to be a team that puts themselves through the opposition's pressure under a lot of pressure. So coming into this game against Wales, it was really exciting to see what was going to happen, because I think the Welsh must have had a lot of motivation thinking that they could be the next team that breaks their losing streak against the New Zealand All Blacks. It's been 33 matches against the two teams, and I'm sure the Welsh must have felt an air of confidence going into this game. The game was played at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, a fantastic venue, a venue that I've been to a couple of times to watch All Blacks games, and there's nothing like sitting in that stadium when the Welsh crowd is in attendance and also in good voice. Now, the game was played under the roof, and we were hoping for dry conditions, but for some reason the ball was wet and slippery and made for quite a few handling errors. But before the game got underway, unfortunately for Wales, they lost Lee Halfpenny, who was pulled out because of a hamstring injury, and that was a bit of a shame. The guy's been out injured for over a year now, and was really looking forward to seeing him play against the All Blacks. I rate the guy as a really good player, and he just didn't get his opportunity on this occasion. And the All Blacks started off this game as the dominant team, that's for sure, and it was really a game of three different quarters, if you like. I felt as though the All Blacks dominated the first part of the first half. Then we saw the Welsh coming back into it, and at half time we saw a scoreline of 22 points to 13 to the All Blacks. And you kind of thought, well, the All Blacks have been in this position again in previous matches during this year, where they've let leads slip in games and they've let the opposition come back in, or the opposition's played well to get back into the game. Was this going to be another situation? In that first half, we saw tries by Cody Taylor, but we also saw really outstanding performances by players who ended up putting their stamp on this match. And rather than go through the list of tries and point scorers, I really want to focus on the dynamics of the match and just talk about how that unfolded, because we're seeing in these autumn internationals already things that are happening in games that are just shifting the momentum one way or the other for specific teams. Ardie Savea in an All Black jersey is something, it is a very compelling story. It doesn't matter what team you support around the world, and you can tell when Ardie Savea is in this All Black team, those forwards and the team in general get a good momentum going. So it was good to see in the first 20 minutes of this particular match the All Blacks taking a little bit of dominance to the Welsh team, and at 17 points to 0 we thought, oh no, this is going to be a bit of a cricket score again against Wales. Now that's something else I wanted to bring up in this video, is because Wales can upset other teams and they do very well against the top teams in the world, but for some reason New Zealand, the All Blacks, seem to be a nemesis team for the Welsh. And we started to see that appearing in the first half again in this particular match. But to their credit, the Welsh came back, and by half time, and we saw that score of 22 points to 13, one could think, okay, the Welsh are still in this game. There is an opportunity if they come out firing in the second half. But like we saw the dominance of the first half from the All Blacks in the beginning of the first half, we saw the same thing happen in the beginning of the second half. And it wasn't long before the All Blacks extended their lead, and one was thinking, okay, the All Blacks are definitely going to win this game. The Welsh started to fall off a little bit in the beginning of the second half, and then with a try and a couple of penalties, they came back into the match. and started to make the score a little bit more respectable. But it seemed to be the trend within this particular match. When the Welsh started getting a little bit closer, the All Blacks kicked into another gear and they went away again. And so at the end of the game, when it was 55 points to 23, there was no doubt that the All Blacks were the dominant team across the park. I thought Aaron Smith had a fantastic game for the All Blacks. He was dominating his opponent, but he was also managing things around the base of the scrum, the rucks and the mauls, and he had a very, very good game. Richie Mo'unga, a couple of issues there, but on top I think he's still the right choice in number 10. And I think Geordie Barrett is playing really, really well at 12 as well, so it's good selection to have Barrett in there. So far he's performed very well in that hotly contested position the All Blacks currently have. Sevu Reece on the wing didn't do himself any favours, I felt, in this match to maintain a starting 14 position in the team. I think New Zealand has other wingers that should be given advantage and an opportunity to perform in that particular jersey. So I think that might be a position we get to see come under review. Brodie Retallick, who was sent off against the Japanese, was not in this match and he's serving a ban now. But we saw Scott Barrett and we saw Sam Whitelock step up in the locking position, securing a lot of good ball in the set pieces for the All Blacks, and that really allowed them to be quite creative in the back line. So overall, a dominating performance, a disappointing performance from the Welsh. I say dominating from an All Blacks perspective, but equally is disappointing from the Welsh perspective. For some reason, the Welsh team just don't seem to turn up against the All Blacks and are able to maintain that 80 minutes of pressure that the Irish and the Japanese even have shown, and the Argentinians have shown against the All Blacks in the last 12 months. So I think the Welsh will go away disappointed from this game, and they'll be looking to rectify that in their next matches coming up in the Autumn International Series. I'm not too sure whether we can say there's extreme consistency within the All Black play at the moment. I don't think we can because of what happened to Japan, but let's see what happens in their next couple of matches. Really interesting to see what the Welsh will do now. Will they have some changes within their team? I read online after the match a lot of disappointment from the Welsh fans. So if you are from Wales and you're watching this video, I'd love to hear your perspective. Do you think there's a need to be changing coaches heading into the World Cup for next year, or do you think Pivac has got that position sewn up heading into the World Cup? What other changes can the Welsh make? Do you think some of the old guard are starting to look a little bit frail around the edges? Is it time to bring in some more new players? Really interested to hear your perspective on that one. So an outstanding win from the All Blacks, 55 points to 23 in the end. Couple of soft tries there. I think Dwyer had a great game, his first run on for the Welsh. He had a great game, and I'm going to be watching that guy with some excitement in the next few matches that Wales play. Other than that, not really too many standouts for Wales. Their defence opened up on a number of occasions, and Ardie Savea even got to use his dummy, which he's been trying, I think, every match since he's been born. So overall, at times, it was a good match. Quite a number of handling and fumbling errors, but at least we're not talking this week about refereeing decisions and the horrendous impact that the referees had on this particular match. It was an All Black dominating performance for most of the game, and I think that's how this one will be remembered. So leave us your comments. What did you think about the All Blacks win against Wales? Was it a dominating performance? Are the All Blacks back on a roll now? Or are we going to see some inconsistency there as they continue their autumn international tour of the Northern Hemisphere? I'll be back again soon in another video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and drop me your comments about this particular game. And I'll see you soon in another video. Thanks for watching.